Hey, what is up, guys? What's going on YouTube? Rules for Rebels here, back at you with Side Hustle Thursdays, episode 26. So today's story is in many ways very similar to the story we covered on Tuesday about Jeff. And if you remember, Jeff was helping families by offering consultations, answering questions, and even created an email course to help people with families who either wanted to do extended travel or even move overseas. And while Jeff's story focused on travel, today's story is also about the sort of consulting slash coaching slash course route, except it has to do with writing and being an author as opposed to travel. Today's story kind of further illustrates how you can use a skill you already have to both help others and make money. Now, what I also like about today's story is it really furthers a Gary Vee message I've talked about in the past, which is document, don't create. So today's story is about a woman named Shanta. Shanta was in a miserable day job working for a school district and making less than a McDonald's employee, but wound up turning her side hustle into a $100,000 per year income. Now, it may seem kind of crazy that somebody working for the school system in a professional job could make less than a McDonald's employee, and I guess it's kind of a sad thing about our education system. Kind of off topic, but my mom was actually substitute teaching down in Charleston, South Carolina, and they have some pretty bad school districts at very low tax rates, which is awesome if you live there, but not so great for the school system. Anyhow, she was making $7.50 an hour as a substitute teacher, whereas back home in Chicago, it would typically pay around $100 to $150. Anyhow, I think this story illustrates how important having multiple income streams is and why side hustles are so important. So, getting back to Shanta, Shanta was really motivated to create some change, and she also had a history of side hustling. Nothing huge, but she knew how to make money outside of a 9-to-5 job, and in previous years, she had started an online vintage clothing shop. She'd helped other people through their bankruptcies. At one point, she had a daycare center out of her house, and another side hustle she had was as a freelance writer. And she actually at one point published a novel with Penguin Publishing, which wasn't a huge hit, but it's a pretty big accomplishment to get a novel published. And totally off topic, but Penguin Publishing, I actually just read an article about this today, actually just recently got into the t-shirt and apparel business as well. I know they say like the publishing industry is dying, so it looks like they're trying to find some different ways to make money. But anyhow, back to the story. Shanta is a single mother and has a child with autism, and because of her child's autism, he couldn't go to daycare at an early age, and because of that, Shanta proudly says she's the queen of finding out how to make a little money outside of a job, because she had to stay home with her child, and she also needed to bring in money. So as we just talked about, she found all these creative ways to bring in money. So Shanta was once again having some money troubles and figured maybe she would try to write a novel again and get an advance. She created a second source of income basically on a whim and just as a way of kind of documenting her journey, but wound up being a lifesaver and actually wound up making quite a bit of money, over $100,000 plus to be exact. Now, Shanta decided to create an online journal about writing and publishing and focus on what it's like to be a writer. The first month, her blog got over 800 subscribers, free subscribers of course, but good nonetheless. She then one day decided to start a year-long writing course for others who wanted to write a book, be it authors, novelists, etc. She created her course and threw it up on Gumroad. Gumroad I've talked about in previous episodes. It's a site where you can upload music, movies, files, articles, books, artwork, etc. And when they sell, they automatically collect the payment for you, and they automatically deliver the files to your customer, so you're not manually having to monitor payments and then send an ebook out to somebody. Everything's done for you. And we've talked about in a couple previous episodes of side hustling, and I personally use Gumroad. I've used it in the past, and I actually have products up on Gumroad right now. Now, shortly after creating her course and throwing it up on Gumroad, Shanta and her husband went to go see a movie one day. Now, Shanta was thinking about this while waiting for the movie to start. She was kind of embarrassed how haphazardly she threw together the course, and during the course of the movie was actually considering taking the course down when she got home. However, when she got out of the movie and turned on her phone, to her surprise, she had sold a couple courses already and profited to the tune of $700. She started running with the course and putting more effort into it. Her group of 800 followers grew to 11,000 followers. She started a Facebook group, which she grew to over 7,000 members. She made this her main focus and also sold some other items like planners for writers and things like that. And by the end of the year, she had earned more than $100,000. And the novel that she was writing, which kind of started the whole journey with the course, what about that? Well, she didn't stop with that. She finished the novel as well. She wanted to show her readers that she wasn't just a teacher who taught people how to write, but could also write herself. She finished the book. She also enjoyed the writing process a lot more when it was for fun, as opposed to a financial solution to a problem, which was no longer the case, as she was making plenty of money off her course side hustle. I mentioned earlier in the story about Gary Vee and how Gary Vee's kind of message of document, don't create. Rather than trying to create content, just document what you're doing, and in large part, that's what Shanta's course was. Well, the course did teach some things about writing. It also just kind of followed her journey about writing. You know, I have writer's block today. You know, here's how I'm going to get over it. Well, she does offer tips and teach writing. A lot of her blog and course is simply sharing her experience as a writer and documenting what she's doing. Now, initially upon hearing this story, I was kind of shocked to hear how well Shanta did. It wouldn't have surprised me to hear that she made, you know, maybe $3 grand, $4 grand, $5 grand. However, the actual number was over 3 times that, so I found that to be pretty impressive. Shanta had success for a lot of reasons. She's a natural hustler, as you can see. She had many businesses and hustles prior to starting this successful one. And I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs and side hustlers do, is they have a lot of small-time hustles that bring a little bit of money before they really strike upon the good one that brings in a lot. But a lot of times you can't get to that big side hustle without gaining the experience through the smaller ones. One thing I think greatly contributed to her success was her About Me page on her website. I've talked before about how important About Us or About Me pages are in previous episodes, and I think I've even done a video about how to create a good Shopify About Me page, and if I can find that video, I will link it in the description box below. These pages are quite possibly the most important pages on your site. They tell your audience what your mission is, what you're about, why you're doing what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Shanta's page says something along the lines of, all I've ever wanted to do is write stories. You could say I'm a story junkie. I take them however I can get them. The only thing I love more than telling stories is helping people tell theirs, which is why I developed this workshop. Shanta's page, in addition to being an amazing writer, she's also an amazing copywriter. Her About Me page speaks directly to the needs of a lot of people. She creates a connection between herself and other people who enjoy writing or dream of being authors. A lot of people want to write a book. I think almost everybody at some point in their life has said, I should write a book, but very few people actually follow through with it. For some people, it may not be a priority. For others, they may need accountability, while others may need some guidance, and the course provides something for all of them. I think Shanta has actually stumbled upon a great niche as well, writing and authorship. Like I said, I think almost everybody at some point in their life has said, oh, I should write a book about this experience or this story or my life. Well, her course provides guidance and accountability. It also issues kind of a challenge to readers and knows in the course to take some action and follow through with her, as she does it as well and writes her own book. I really enjoyed today's story and today's hustle, and I hope you guys did as well. I think this story is very similar to Tuesday's story. Both stories and hustles really require no special skills, in the sense that they're using skills or knowledge that you already have. Jeff was knowledgeable about travel and shared experiences with others, whereas Shanta shared her experience in writing, and both did so in a way which was more documenting than creating. As I said in Tuesday's episode, each and every one of you out there have some special skill or talent or knowledge base that other people would like to learn from you, and I'd strongly encourage any of you guys looking for a side hustle idea to sit down and start brainstorming on a piece of paper hobbies you have, skill sets you have, and see if you can somehow turn that into money. It could be something as simple as how to use Excel, how to cook, how to juice, how to participate in a particular hobby, really anything. Anyhow, guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you were inspired, and I hope that some of you sit down right now and start crafting your side hustle. If you enjoyed today's story, please like it, please share it, and if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And until next time, guys, Rules for Rebels, Side Hustle Thursdays, episode 26, signing off.